Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make this new baby card using the Safari Baby Stamp Set by Honeybee Stamps. It is part of Honeybee's 5th anniversary release, which includes lots of great products including this stamp set and some other new baby themed stamp sets, which I think we are all going to need about 9 or 10 months from now. I predict that we're going to be having a post-quarantine baby boom. So definitely, I think it's probably about time to get started on some new baby cards. So let's start with this card. So I just put the little mommy and baby giraffe into my Misty, and I'm going to stamp it with some black Memento ink. And I'm using Copic Express-It blending card here, and I've cut my card panel to 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. I'm just going to tape it down, and I do this so that I get that nice little 1/4 of an inch border around the edges, and also so I can secure my panel down so that it doesn't move around while I'm filming. Makes it a little bit easier on the eyes for you to watch. And we're going to start by filling in the ground in front of our little mama and baby. And I use some YG01 for that, nice bright color. And then we're going to add a rainbow background. So I'm using really, really light shades here. I started with BG10, went to B60, and now to RV000 to YR00, which looks a little bit too bright. So I'm just going to tone it down with my YR0000. And then add some Y000. That looks a little light, so I'm going to brighten it up with some Y00 here. And that looks good. Next, I'm going to just go over the RV and then the B60 a little more too to darken it. So I want a real nice pastel rainbow at the end of the day behind our little giraffes. And now I'm using YG11, which is a really, really nice soft yellow green. I'm just going to blend the yellow and green together. Next, we'll move to BG000. I'm just being careful when I get to the little giraffe's face there, making sure I don't color over it too much. And then we'll add some B000. And then finally finish the sky with some BG10. And that's going to give us a really, really nice light pastel background. So the idea that I had in mind when I was making this card, I wanted there to be a real subtle rainbow background. And then I wanted all the images in the forefront to be really bright and vibrant. So that's why we're going to color the giraffes in with some really, really bold, saturated Copic color. So I'm going to use Y21 for the base of our giraffes. And then for the shading, I'm going to use YR24, YR27, and then E97. And that combination of tones is going to give us a really, really nice reddish gold base for the giraffes. And I'm also coloring in the foreground of the scene in a really, really bright yellow-green combination so that it just stands out from the back of the scene. I'm going to add my shading along the back of the little mommy giraffe and underneath the leg area and the belly area there. So like wherever there's a joint in the body, I'll add a little bit of shading there just to indicate that there's a crease or a little bit of a shadow. And then I will blend all of the colors inwards with my YR24, being careful to go around those spots. But in the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You could actually color right over the spots because we are going to color in the spots with some E20s, which is a really, really bright, dark brown shade. So it would have been no problem for me just to color over the entire giraffe here. And when we get to the little baby giraffe, I do end up coloring over the little spots. So now I'm going to add a little YR21 to kind of just blend the shades a little bit better. So now we have 4 shades in our giraffe. We have Y20, YR21, YR24, YR27, and then E99. So I guess that's five different shades to get the coloring on the giraffe there. And I'm just making sure to leave the center parts of the draft really, really light. That's going to help make the image look nice and dimensional when you have like the center of the belly nice and bright, the center of the face nice and bright, and then the edges of the body pretty dark. It just helps it make it look like it's a 3D image. So for the little baby giraffe, there's less area to color here, so I'm just being a little bit careful, although I am coloring over those little dots there because we can just color over them with a darker shade afterwards. It's not going to matter. And I'll just keep working on my blend. And for the little spikes on top of the giraffe, not sure what those are, I colored those in with a base of E23. And that's the same shade that I'm using for the hooves as well as the base layer for the spots. So I'm just going to color all the little circles in with my E23. This is a really fun image to color. It's just really, really fun coloring in all the little circles, and it just brought me such joy looking at those cute little faces on the little mama and little baby giraffe. It's just so, so sweet. Honeybee stamps really have the most adorable little critters, I think. They just really, really exude so much love and affection. I just love it. Okay, so for the shading on the spots, I'm using E27, and I'm being careful to just leave the centers light, so I'm not coloring in the centers, because we want there just to be a little bit of interest and dimension in those circles. And by having them in a couple of different shades, that's going to help with that effect. So I'm just going to leave the centers pretty light. And then once we color in all the spots, I'm going to go back over it with the E23 just to blend things together a little more. And then I'm going to show you a final trick just to really make the little circles pop on the little giraffes. So I'm just going to take some E27 and just add like a tiny little dot onto each of those little spikes that are on the giraffes' backs. Now we're going to work on the foreground of the scene. So at first I thought maybe we'll put some grass around their feet. And then I kind of wasn't having that so much. So then I just started adding in like different little shapes. So I'm trying to make it look like there's little indentations in the ground. And then I didn't like that. So now I'm just going to blend everything together. And the look that I finally settle on is that I'm making the front of the scene really dark. So I'm applying my darkest greens towards the front. And then I'm going to leave the back of the scene pretty light. So that's going to make it look like there's a little bit of a glow around the little mama and baby giraffe. And it's just going to look real, real pretty. So to get that effect, again, I'm just darkening up the front of the scene. So that's the scene like right at their foot level and below, and then everything above that is going to be pretty light. Okay, so here's the trick to make the spots pop. So I'm just adding a little dot in the center of each of the circles, or if it's a big circle, I'm just adding a little backward C in the upper left corner of the circles, and that's just gonna, that little highlight is just gonna make everything really, really pop. I think it's so pretty. Now I'm just going to add some shadows underneath the feet with just a darker green marker. And now we can peel off the painter's tape. And now it's time to select the sentiment. So for this card, I thought the sentiment that says you're going to be amazing parents worked perfectly here. So I'm just going to line up my sentiment in the Misty. And then I'm going to stamp it with some black VersaFine ink. Black VersaFine ink is great for sentiments. It's nice and crisp, and nice, crisp, dark black. It is not good for Copic coloring. It will bleed, so that's why you need to use the Memento black ink for your coloring, and then you use the black VersaFine ink for your sentiments. Now I'm just going to add some tape adhesive to the back of the card, and then we'll apply it to our A2 size card base. I'm just going to press that down. One of the things I like about these Copic cards is that you You know, you don't have to do any other work. Once you're done with your coloring, you're pretty much done. You just attach it to a card base and you're ready to go. I'm going to show you another version. So this is the first version of the card that I made. I love that sentiment. Lots of love is on the way. And I also added a lighter foreground in the scene that says lots of love. And here's the card that we made today. I hope you enjoyed this video, everyone, and definitely go check out Honeybee Stamps' 5th anniversary release. Lots of great products, including lots of great new baby stamps. All right, I will see you again soon in another video. Have a great day.